Hello out there, very good morning to you. Thank you plenty for staying with us and keeping it locked with Niger Live Television. My name is Henry Ahamuefula. So it's a number of things trending around the world, in Nigeria, globally, yeah. And it's time for the paper review segment where we check out these stories from Vanguard to Daily Trust to The Punch to The Nation. And we'll start off with the Vanguard paper this morning, which has a lead story, the Middle East war, and it takes a business angle of it, business closures, job losses looming. That that's coming from NICA, NLC, LCCI, and ASBON. This is as they see that the soaring price could cripple economy, and are urging immediate government action to save the situation. Consumers already are groaning as petrol hits 1,371 naira per litre in Abuja, Lagos, and others. And AP's governors say they're about to roll out a social intervention to cushion inflationary pressures. What does it sell for around here in Bayelsa State? There are those who are buying for 1,300, 1,350. What do you buy for? Let us know in the comment section. Away from that, above the nameplate of the Vanguard paper this morning is a story around the Ozoro, in quotes now, Rape Festival. There has been several clarifications as to that particular festival, with the PPRO of Delta State saying that that's exactly not a rape festival. He made clarifications, but there is also the SUG president who's making it a Vanguard paper this morning with a report. He says 6 female students sexually harassed and not raped, and that's what has been out there, right? Raping of several students in that Ozoro festival. But there's a clarification that it's not actually rape, but sexual assault. Beside the story is a story around the PDP crisis. You started a fight you couldn't win. Wike slams Makinde as NEC says no victor, no vanquish. Now this NEC is that is tilting towards the Yeson Wike faction that's saying no victor, no vanquish. Well, Yeson Wike here saying you started a fight you couldn't win is when he had this meeting with the NEC also, and it is following what Sheyi Makinde said when they had a rally in Kano State with Kwankwaso, Dixon, Mensiraka Dixon of Bayelsa State, a number of other political stakeholders. And Sheyi Makinde said in that particular rally that he was at the meeting when Wike and the president, Wike promised the president to hold down the PDP. And there are talks that, well, it seems as though Wike is really getting his way doing this, as he currently, as part of the reconciliatory talks, he does not want for the PDP to have a presidential candidate. Well, there's a lot. Okay, so let me bring in an analyst that will help us unpack some of the story this morning. I'm joined also this morning by Glad Yakie. It's good to have you, Mr. Glad.
Good to be here.
Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Okay, the comment, the stories. The Wike stories are pretty well replicated in the paper, as you would see. Well, the comment from Wike, especially him slamming Makinde, saying he started a fight he cannot win or couldn't win. How does this come off as to you, especially as, well, it seems as though PDP is winning this fight in the PDP?
Well, for Wike, he's had this strategy of essentially holding the PDP on the ransom, because it's essential. From the looks of things, it seems to be in the president's camp, and the president, of course, is in APC. But Wike is still a member of the PDP and is essentially holding the party on the ransom. So the governors did meet, you did mention Makinde and Kwankwaso, and also the former Bayelsa State Governor Dixon. They're also looking for a way forward, so put an end to the turmoil within the PDP. But still, Wike isn't backing down. It's going to be tense seeing how this matter really dies down. But Wike is not backing down. The governors are also trying to step up as well. So it seems like it's a stalemate at this point. But
now, following this appeal court ruling, which is making them go for this reconciliation, because after the appeal court ruling, they had to either do reconciliation or go ahead with the Supreme Court, to the Supreme Court to, further appeal. Would you have, recommended this trajectory they are currently pursuing, with trying to do a reconciliation. They had suspended Wike because of the anti-party and other activities. Now, they are doing a reconciliation with the same Wike faction. And it seems as though the PDP would also not be getting a presidential candidate at the end of the day. And before now, I mean, the consequence of the Supreme Court going to Supreme Court would also be that they will not get a presidential candidate. Would you have suggested or recommended
of course,
this?
It's not what should be done. For the PDP, they seem to the governors at this point, they are almost conceding to the fact that they cannot expel Wike, so they're trying to make a deal with him.
When you say governors,
I think you mean governor. The governors.
The governor now of PDP.
Camp.
There's only one governor now.
The former governors.
Okay.
It also includes the likes of Dixon. They have this. That's a coalition against the Wike coalition.
Because I think it's just Sheyi Makinde now, right?
Sheyi Makinde is the only
PDP governors from to his note to has defected also to the APC. Either he has defected or the plans are really in top gear to defect us.
They've actually given them that moniker, the tag as the governors factions, and then there's the Wike faction. Since they know they cannot expel Wike, if you can't beat them, you want to try and make a deal with him. So for Wike, he's still not willing to budge. He's still maintaining his stance, and it's really unfortunate for the PDP. And if you look at the situation, even most of the people within the people that met for conquest, so he has his own political party, and not forgetting Dixon himself recently announced his own party as well. So they, irrespective of the fact that they're still within the PDP body, they still have their own party. So there's still the division within the faction as well. But it's really unclear how this issue would be able to die down for the PDP.
All right, thank you so much. The Strait of Hormuz also is on the Vanguard paper, on page 8 of the Vanguard paper. The Strait of Hormuz, the Iran, the Middle East war. This is as Trump extends Iran deadline by 5 days, claiming productive talks. Now, productive in quote, because that's what he said. And the writers to that story, Iran denies talks with US, threatens to mine entire Gulf if attacked. It is just a wonder how Trump claims that they're having productive talks, and Iran says there is no talk like that going on. And you wonder, what kind of politics is this? What exactly is Trump trying to achieve? Is he trying to drive down energy costs? What exactly is he playing at?
Well, I think he's trying to save the face of the U.S. in this case, because we saw it in Cuba a long time ago when the Americans tried to push the Russians out, forcefully making them remove their missiles in Cuba. But it was also a concession on the part of the U.S. as well. So they try to save their face publicly while trying to publicly humiliate the Russians in that case. So for Donald Trump, we did see that he gave Iran a 48-hour ultimatum to open the Strait of Hormuz, and now he's coming up and making this claim that the talks are progressing, so he's extending the deadline to 5 days. So he's essentially maybe trying to extend it for them, so maybe he's also weighing the risk of carrying out more massive military actions against Iran. And since he's saying talks are progressing, I want to believe maybe there's actually some talks going on, but the Iranians coming out to deny it, clearly someone is not telling the truth.
Yeah, how do you want to believe that if someone is not telling the truth? Anyways, check out the story on page 6 of the Vanguard paper. It says, police arrest Barua, 6 others after taking over Northwest Secretariat in Abuja. MC Oluomo was reportedly voted out when Barua started claiming victory. Well, after that victory talk, there was an arrest. When I saw the story of Barua, taking over as the head of Notri, I was like, are you sure this guy is not in over his head? Well, this morning it's breaking that police have arrested Barua, 6 others after taking over Notri Secretariat. How does this story meet you?
It was a little bit of a surprise, honestly, because I did not expect the arrest to be made so swiftly. But I think is
it the arrest that surprises you, or the fact that Barua won MC Oluomo?
Both situations are surprising to me, and the fact that he won, because MC Oluomo is also a top figure, and for Barua, I think the swift arrest does show that there's higher, you want to say higher authorities involved in this situation. So it's a little bit interesting, and you have to check out the details
and see how it unfolds. Right. Let's check out the Disney paper real quick. Above the nameplate, in a major investment drive, EU unveils 290 million euro global gateway package for Nigeria. What are the details of this package? You want to find that out when you get a copy of of the D-State paper this morning, all right? And the story around weekend locking Makinde warning him not to start a fight. He can't win is also on the Tuesday paper. Another story there that you might find that interesting read is that around ICP are raiding RFI today over multi-billion naira fraud allegations. The writers to that story has Atiku telling the federal government to release ex-governor RFI, insisting he cannot be detained for holding a different ideology. I like to think a different political ideology. It means that also there's a story around the Atiku also leading a solidarity delegation to Malami, who is also, embattled or, in all of immersed in all of these legal troubles. Atiku also alleges Tinubu is strangling democracy and Nigeria is sliding into authoritarian rule. Is Nigeria sliding into authoritarian rule? Have we had it this way? Let me not use the word bad. Have we had it this way where we have over 31 governors who are currently in the APC? They defected to the APC. They did not have not even up to 20. Or we saw how each governors started defecting until we have over 31 governors who are currently in the APC. Is this democratic enough for Nigeria's democracy?
Well, it's a threat to democracy, honestly. For Nigeria, the situation is becoming really, really dire at this point.
Well, it could be that the APC is a very popular party, and it's really enjoying people a lot to the party.
Of course, you want to say it's a popular party, but I want to say it's a dominant party.
It's getting more popular.
It's becoming more. It's becoming more popular in the sense that maybe people are because of what it's doing, it's making waves. But to many Nigerians it can be unpopular because a lot of Nigerians are not really keen into the APC ideologies. But if you can't beat them, I think a lot of the governors have this mindset of if you can't beat them, you join them. So for the APC, gradually I think Nigeria is becoming a uniparty state. Which is a little bit dangerous. If you're not doing it the right way, it can be a little bit tricky being a one-party state. But APC, they are definitely having a strong goal, and it's really difficult seeing how any other party can topple them.
Alrighty, just around the oil price, global oil price, it says oil slumps to $96 per barrel as Trump suspends planned strikes on Iran energy infrastructure. That's like the 5-day deadline there, right? Page 20 of the Disney paper gets you the story. I'll move real quick to the Daily Monitor, which has above its masthead a story around the Inspector General of Police warning newly promoted AIGs, CPs against indiscipline and dereliction of duty. And on the PDP crisis, the story around Wike Wonder Market also makes it to the Daily Monitor. And Uzodinma is also one of the stories. He's making the news also with his 2027 talk. He says Tinubu will be re-elected in spite of stiff opposition. Stiff opposition. I don't know if there is also actually
the opposition is really stiff at this point, because you're even looking at the PDP and the factions and all that, and what is going on with the PDP. They haven't really put their house in order, but APC seems to be very dominant. I don't really see the opposition as very stiff at this point. So maybe the only oppositions could be, you want to say what
are the chances of the ADC, the NDC, the Labour Party, the third force in the 2023 election? What are the chances of these parties come 2027?
Well, it's really hard to even give them a chance, honestly, because it's difficult, I think, for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. You have to give it to him, love him or hate him.
At this point, is there anything any of these political parties could do that would just, turn the political analysis in their favor? Because I know many political analysts would say that, well, 2027 election is not in the favor of these opposition parties.
Of course, that's the truth. For President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, he knows every details of politics. He knows how to move his way to get his agenda.
Right?
Of course, and you have to give it to him. So it's difficult for someone to go out and topple President Tinubu, because every aspect of government at this point, it seems to be dominating in it. So it's going to take a whole lot for the other parties to really topple the APC. But for Nigerians, I think they ultimately will be the deciding factor. Whoever they want, their say really does matter, irrespective of the fact that a lot of people have questioned if their votes really count. But I think for Nigerians, they will be the main factor to determine it.
Alrighty, away from that paper, the Daily Independent has as lead story this morning. Federal government rolls out innovative long-acting HIV prevention drug. A milestone there. A milestone. Away from that, NISU refutes claims of zero power allocation to discos. Northwest Secretariat takeover. Police charge Barua 6 orders to court. The details of that story, page 7. I think there's more details into that story. Fuel price hike. Makinde okays 10,000 naira transport support for workers. Now talk about a popular governor, right? A popular governor. Nigeria is veering toward absolute rule. Atiku warns. Court jails ex-accountant general 72 years for 868 million naira fraud. Many would say a respite, right? Because there's been too many cases tried, and at the end of the day, you don't even see, the end of it. The EFCC, the ICPC, sometimes they try cases, and before you know, they settle, and you don't even hear anything about these cases. The former Kogi governor Yahaya Bello is one of those such cases, right? But this is an accountant general of the, who they've jailed 8 years, and he's supposed to do that consecutively. I think on 3 counts or 2 counts, and that's for 868 million naira fraud committed. But I took that story and also the story around the federal government rolling out innovative long-acting HIV prevention drug. Your comment on these stories here?
Yeah, for the HIV prevention drug, I think it's a very good development for Nigerians, especially those within the HIV community, because for a lot of people, they've been finding it difficult to access drugs, and these drugs, it take 2 doses, and it will be able to at least prevent it. They say prevention is better than cure, so before you even get it, it's better you start preventing it, so at least keep the number high. So that's a good development, and the prices are actually for subsidized rates, because about 58,000 naira, so that's a good development. And for the accountant general was jailed for 8 years. I think it's actually fair. We need we need to see more people being held accountable for the crimes and fraud, because this is public funds, so you cannot just take it as your personal funds. You cannot just divert it and spend it however you want. And I think we've seen cases in other crimes where these people are given stiffer punishment. I think it was in Philippines or so. I saw someone handed a death penalty as well. So there's other countries, they have stiffer punishment. So I think 8 years is actually fair.
And China is one country that does not play with that.
They don't joke with it.
They are, I like to think, authoritarian, and I'm sure many persons will agree with me on that, because democracy is not exactly democratizing there. Howbeit, on that HIV story, some would wonder if is it a far cry when we talk about vaccines? Wouldn't it be much better than the drugs? When you were a child, you know how the COVID-19 vaccines were rolled out. So if there is something, or is it that medicine has not got into that point? If there is a drug, there should be a vaccine, no?
I don't think they've gotten to that point of getting a vaccine to stop it. But the drug, in essence, is sort of like a vaccine, because a vaccine prevents you from getting a particular infection. And for this drug, when you get it, it prevents you from getting infected with HIV, at least for a year. You have to take it annually. That's just a difference. But I don't think
it could actually be called a vaccine.
You can call it a vaccine to that point, but a vaccine is essentially supposed to prevent you from getting infected for life. That's at least the typical understanding of vaccine. But this one, you have to take it annually, twice a year. But it's still a good development.
Oh, thank you so much. Check out the Daily Trust paper this morning. EFCC seals Malami's houses. ICPC arraigns Arafai today. A story we're looking forward to how that will go. And today is World Tuberculosis Day. Did you know that? Today is World Tuberculosis Day. And the Daily Trust paper is highlighting how sufferers are battling the stigma and the drugs burden. There is clearly not enough that's done for tuberculosis in Nigeria, and more that needs to be done for tuberculosis in Nigeria. And real quick, I check out the story on IED killing driver in Kwara and terrorists bombing bridge in Niger, and also the story that's contained on page 10 of the Daily Trust that's reporting Kwankwaso being in talks with the ADC and NDC over realignment. Are we seeing that come through? I saw on national television also someone who is of the Kwankwaso movement, making comments like the NN PC leader, NNPP leader defecting to either of the ADC, NDC, or anyone, which is, you think that's something that we've already seen, especially him defecting to the NDC and a job party?
Well, nothing will surprise me when it comes to Nigerian politics. So, for these political figures, they keep on navigating. So, moving from APC to PDP, NDC, it's not it wouldn't come as a surprise. So, Kwankwaso moving to another, it wouldn't be a surprise to us.
The rally they had in Kano State had supporters, I mean, of the Kwankwaso movement chanting Obi Kwankwaso. Did you hear that? Did you see that?
There's an alliance between them, irrespective of the fact that in different parties, there's still that.
Do you think there's a good chance Obi Kwankwaso dislodging Tinubu come 2027?
Oh, it's really difficult seeing them toppling Tinubu at this point. So it's really difficult. But
Right.
if they can put their acts together, come together. But I don't know if this idea of forming different parties would eventually hurt them, because who are we really voting for when maybe Kwankwaso is in NNDP and NNPP, and then we have ADC for maybe Steraki Dixon, and then there's the PDP as
They
well.
all have to be in one particular
You have to be
political
in one
party.
party. Put your acts together.
But it seems as though there is a frustration that's ongoing, with typically a politicizing of it's politics. So some persons would say that they are trying to frustrate to position politics, and Labour Party is in disarray, PDP is in disarray, ADC. And there is also a little crisis that's brewing also in the ADC, and there is just the NDC. NNPP also has a political crisis. So if you really think the many would say there is a hand of the ruling party in all of these, and so these opposition politicians to have to play smart, and their legs are here and their legs are here. Not exactly certain where. We are not exactly certain, but there is an alliance amongst them.
There is.
Maybe before that threshold or benchmark, before it elapses, the time where they are supposed to be in a particular political party according to the new Electoral Act, and when if they cannot move, there is a new provision like that where you're in this political party.
Yeah.
At a particular time, you cannot move from this political party. You cannot defect.
There's
from
a
this political
deadline,
party.
yeah.
And there's a deadline. So maybe that's what we are looking out for. So by that deadline, I would know if they would move to ADC, NDC, NNPP, PDP back.
The issue with these defections is they are not just they are irrespective of they have their agenda. They are confusing Nigerians, because we don't know which party they maybe are the someone we want to vote for. We are not even sure what party is really affiliated with. We don't know if it's for PDP, it's for Labour Party at this point, if it's for NDC.
Do you wish independent candidacy were a thing?
Independent. I really do wish it was a thing, because we need to go beyond just this party and affiliations, because there's a lot of people that are just party faithful, regardless of the fact that maybe your candidate, the candidate of that party is not maybe the right person, but because of the party affiliation, you want to vote for him. But this pattern from the strategy from the APC is really from the PDP. I beg your pardon, is really confusing for the masses.
What pattern or strategy?
There's the Labour Party, there's the NDP, and there's just different parties, but they're all still within the PDP umbrella.
Okay.
So it's still a little bit confusing for Nigerians. We're not really sure. I think there's too many parties, even lost count of how many we have now at this point.
Alrighty. The New Telegraph paper is reporting this morning a spike in terrorist attacks. Says there is lapse in intel gathering and analysis that's coming from Adesanya. The Middle East crisis, Iran, US both want to make a deal, says Trump. That story again. Food price pressures pushes agro stocks value to 1.141 trillion naira. PDP neck, you wanted money, I wanted power. Wike tells Makinde. Would you look at that revelation there? As party declares no victor, no vanquish, intensifies efforts on rebuilding party. Pages 4 and 6 of the New Telegraph paper gets you that read. Daily Sun. APC retains zoning formula as you Walter Mazari admit challenges, insists convention will hold as planned, and Uzodinma Oborewori Okowa rally south for APC in Asaba. Okay, this is the story that's coming up. Uzodinma Oborewori Okowa rallying south for APC in Asaba. I mean, there are a number of governors that are missing from that. I mean, Akwa Ibom, Cross River, Bayelsa, Edo, they're all APC governors. Right? Anyways, We'll move from that story real quick and check out a story on IPI urging Tinubu to rein in Niger governor over media attacks. That's contained on page 27 of the Daily Sun paper this morning. Obi team up for ADC's Southeast. Niger Delta Chamber targets $5 billion investments and 500,000 jobs is also a story that's contained on page 2 of the Daily Sun paper this morning. And also check out the Business Day paper. There is an investigation inside the 1.6 billion naira Unilag hostel that became part of crisis it was built to solve. Some headline there. We're ready for 2020, says APC. Egg scarcity looms as day-old 7%. Low price tech stocks lead NGX gains in 2026. These are stories that you get on the Business Day paper this morning. Let's check out the Sporting Sun real quick. Thieves hold Alex Iwobi hostage. Cut away valuables worth £500,000 there. £500,000. Thieves hold Alex Iwobi hostage. Cut away valuables worth £500,000. Exactly where did this happen, and why are we seeing this kind of story around our own Alex Iwobi? A story that's very close to that story is a story around Messi overtaking incredible Pele record, and also quitting basketball was not Sarah Oguke makes a revelation there. Oshimen undergoes successful surgery, buys 3 billion naira luxury home in Yakie, and Turkish club Istanbul Sport denies sale rumors. They are holding on tight to Oshimen. That's the story that the Sporting Sun is reporting this morning. Ronaldo shares this G-Mot. Newcastle is Jackson Delap. Flick close on Barca record. Page 3 gets you that story. Arteta defends as the Balaga season. Page 2 has that story. Well, a number of other stories. Which of the stories on the Daily Sun are really catching your interest this morning?
Well, I'm very concerned about the situation with Alex Iwobi being involved in that incident where he was robbed and he lost the possession worth over £300,000, and that's a very sad one for the Nigerian brother, you want to call him at that. And then for the story involving Arteta and his goalkeeper situation, that was also another interesting one to read about.
Alrighty there. There's a story around Oshimen undergoing successful surgery. I did not even know that he had such challenge.
Yeah, he did. Following the UCL game he had against Liverpool, he sustained an injury to his arm. So he's gotten the surgery done, and there were talks that he was potentially not going to play again this season, but we'll see how he recuperates.
Paris Saint-Germain prepares €350 million offer for Yamal.
That would be massive if they can pull it off, but I don't see it working, because for FC Barcelona they really would want to keep Lamine Yamal. We know how sensational he's been for Barcelona, but for that price, anyone definitely will be lured.
Alrighty, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Alrighty. My name is Henry Ahamuefula, and it's been the paper review segment on Niger Live Television. Alrighty, we'll bring you the news, the Globe in View, in a moment. Do have a beautiful day.